Alright, hi guys. So, today I want to do just a little bit of a spell. So, it's going to be the honey jar again. So I have my shungite tile. I'm going to give the beast some love. So, it's really cold, so I don't think this is actually... nasty. Your honey jars in the winter, they like to completely fucking like freeze up and crystallize, especially if it's cold in your apartment. So, alright, so there's so much shit just everywhere in this thing. Alright, so I do a blue spell candle. These are the spell candles that I will be offering in my little mojo bags for peace and love, kindness, compassion, empowerment, spirit communication. Yes, spirit communications. So, I'm not going to use any oils, nothing. Just my regular crystal that I've had to amplify it. My amethyst, sobriety. So that's going to amplify that, and then the rose quartz for love. So I like to make those to form, and the shungite helps that manifest even more. So, alright, a plain, basic little blue candle. So, consecrate it and bless, consecrate it, whatever, in traditional witchcraft. So you take a little bit of your saliva, 3 little X's with your left finger, then you visualize. So, you are full of love. You are full of love. You only speak kind words from your heart. You are full of love. You will only speak kind words from your heart. You are full of love. And refill my candles down. I've never ever used a mini candle for these. I usually use the big ones, the really tall ones. Actually, you know what? I'm going to see it for this. Kind of add a little, like an oomph to everything, just to kind of set a person down and kind of, let's say, kind of balance the chakras a little bit. Better after that. Okay, I'm just going to slightly melt a little bit of the wax right there. These are so much better too, so much tinier. I just hope it doesn't fall over. It shouldn't now. Alright, I don't really think I'm going to use any alum. I really don't know what kind of oil, or maybe, yeah, I don't have anything to add to this, except for more energy. Visions, I mean, just visualization lately is just incredible. Felt like electricity. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to move. I don't know why I just didn't fucking do this in the beginning. Because I'm ridiculous, that's why. Okay. Quartz. Amethyst. Rose quartz. All this. Going. Now let's try a little bit of this to actually get the energy out there. So you will only speak kind words from your heart. You are full of love. You are full of love. You only speak kind words from your heart. Ahava, 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 ahava. Okay, it's done. That's completely done. Now let's just cross our fingers and hope it works. It'll work good. It'll all work great. So. Alright guys, happy Witchy Wednesday. So today, alright, that was just a little honey jar working that I thought I'd share with you guys again. So, today, I keep whistling. What the hell? We're going to do the Suit of Swords. So, alright. That singing bowl is the most amazing thing in this entire world. I have got to just relax now and calm down. Good way to ground yourself. Very good way to ground yourself. Right, we have the Ace. The Ace of Swords. I love this deck. It's seriously incredibly amazing. So, right. So did anybody do anything last night with the full moon? I didn't. I didn't do a thing except my nightly OCD ritual, which was incredibly the same, but great. I feel really short today. Alright, so the Ace of Swords. A sword bathed in brilliance symbolizes the element of air. In psychological terms, air is the medium of mental activity. So, swords signify conquest and power. The triumph implied in the Ace of Swords is not the kind that is won by battle. All of the aces indicate pure elements. So energy before it is given, before given form, in combination with other elements, energy on a symbolic level, the Ace of Swords indicates the power of the consciousness to cut through obstacles and see into its own nature. Strange, here we go again. Buddhism describes the mind as being empty, that is, as having no absolute nature in itself. It is like the sky. We believe in it, we believe that we see it, but it has no solid, graspable nature, no real attributes except what we assign to it. It is empty like a cloud, or like a rainbow that shimmers in a beauty and then disappears. What we normally call mental or intellectual are only products of conditioning and vary from being to being. Totally different outlook on the Ace of Swords now. Very cool. So, the concept of the mind truly perceiving itself as a paradoxal, as an eye looking in at itself. In fact, there is no mind to see or be seen. Our self is only a bunch of qualities assembled for a short time, a lifetime. The sword of wisdom allows us to cut through attachment to a limited ego and find the luminosity, clarity, and emptiness of the natural mind. So, makes sense. In a relative or psychological sense, sword indicates mental concerns such as reason, study, contemplation, intellect, and ideas. I like that. I really, really like that. Alright, meanings. Power, triumph, conquest, mental power, great determination, an issue with many sides, passion, fertility, championship, debacle, tyranny, disaster, self-destruction, a violent temper, repression. So, that is the Ace of Swords. Very different. So, here we go. We have the Two of Swords. Very different from the Rider-Waite. Like 100% completely different. So that's the Two of Swords. Alright, Two of Swords. A woman sits on a broken pier. A cat is beside her, the moon above. Two swords are stuck in the ground. The water and moonlight indicate emotions. The water plants indicate waters that are rather swampy. The girl enjoys the lotus and taps the water with one foot. Careful not to stir its muddy depth. She can visit her emotions, but the swords of reason are nearby. She will not let herself be pulled into the swamp. A truce has been made between emotions and intellect. An atmosphere of tranquility bathes the image, and yet this peace may suddenly be broken. The cat peers warily from its mistress's side. The swords are close at hand. So, the Two of Swords indicates a passionate and temperamental person who has been able to moderate his or her behavior through discipline and willpower. Buddhism. A stormy period in life may be passing. One may be called on to moderate a dispute or bring together antagonistics. Yeah. Weird words. No, I like my big words. Okay, meanings. So, balance through understanding, peace, calm, familiarity, harmony, concord, offsetting factors, stalemate, vagueness, contradictory thoughts, duplicity, lies. I like that. It's funny. Well, it's not funny, but... Right. Now we have the Three of Swords. I like this one. It reminds me of the Gentleman off of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. And since this is from Buffy the Vampire Slayer, this deck, I am wondering if those are not the Gentlemen. They look like it. They look like the Gentlemen. The best freaking episode ever. Hush. I love that. love this deck. I keep rewatching season 5. And like, I have to rewatch this. I have got to see this deck. So, 3 of Swords. So, 3 people in black. Ooh. The Gentleman. In a stone courtyard, a rose pierced by 3 swords is before them. Clouds darken the sky beyond. The 3 figures preside over the destruction of the rose. A sense of ritual is given by their clothes and their rigid posture. The woman is completely covered from head to toe, concealing whatever emotions that she may feel at the vivisection of the flower. The rose in Western culture is a symbol of emotional and physical passion. It is to the west, where the lotus is to the east, an emblem of spiritual unfoldment, of vulnerability. When one opens one's heart as a child or as an adult and meets indifference, rejection, or exploitation, the wounds are deep. The pain can be so intense that rather than attempting to heal, one decides to cut away what is perceived as the source of pain, the heart itself. It's when we repress stuff. So the figures on the 3 of Swords are victims as much as the rose. Contempt for the emotions, narrow-mindedness, and alienation from their fellows are the 3 swords they will use to amputate their own hearts. Amputation. Okay, love will be seen as a sentimental treacle. Religion as superstitious nonsense. Expression of the emotions as weakness. They will convince themselves that everyone is selfishly pursuing personal ends, and so the best they can do is win the competition. They may join a church or a political movement with the aim to strive, to stifle joy and freedom wherever these qualities may lurk. So, meanings: lack of mercy, separation, alienation, grief, error, absence, sorrow, locked up emotions, religious bigotry, self-righteousness, removal, dispersion, conscious insight, decisive realization. That is the 3 of Swords. Alright. We have the 4 of Swords. Another beautiful card. Very beautiful. So that's the 4 of Swords. Alright. 4 men rest at an oasis. Their swords lie on the carpet in front of them. The planet Jupiter, whose sigil is on the carpet. I see the sigil. Signifies expansion, understanding, philosophy, and law. The 4 of Swords does not show the kind of inner truth shown on the 2 of Swords. The interval of peace here has been reached through negotiation and the agreement to follow rules. The 4 men reflect the ideal of human community, in which personal aims and conflicts are subjected to the good of society. If the men are usually adversaries, the influence of Jupiter gives them a way to lay down their swords without losing face. The 4 of Swords can also mean a rest or recovery from illness, despite an oasis of calm after a harrowing journey through the desert. Right, so meanings: truce, alliance, peace talks, calm after a conflict, interval, retreat, agreement, concentration, mental work, mental challenges, respite, rest after illness, repose, replenishment, solitude, and exile. These are a little more dire, a little more diabolical than the last ones, but here's the 5 of Swords. There is the 5 of Swords. Very crazy looking. I love the cards. It's awesome. Alright, 5 of Swords. A man lies on the ground, hemmed in by 5 swords that pierce roses. Around him is a wasteland. In the distance is the ocean. A pentagram encompasses his body. The 5 points in their connecting lines symbolizes the 5 senses. The sword pinning the roses indicate the mental process. Processes have been used to enslave the passions and spirit. Perhaps at one time the man, through his war, thought this would give him power. Now his energy and will are sapped. Although the man is not actually pinned down by the swords, he is passive within their influence. The land around him shows only the skeleton of its former fruitlessness. So the Five of Swords indicates a quest for domination that has ended in defeat. Humiliating as it might be, the only thing to do is accept the situation. Time will bring a more useful perspective. Alright, so meanings. Disgrace, weakness, blame, late insight, acceptance of the unavoidable, clear perspective, new knowledge, degradation, adversary may arise, infamy, dishonor, uncertain outlook. So, that is the Five of Swords. This is the Six of Swords. Very different. Very, very different. So we have the Six of Swords. Alright, a dancer poses on one foot. Behind him is a cactus? Is that a cactus? I don't know. I don't think so. I don't even think that word is cactus. It looks like it though. Near which is a pyramid. The highest discipline shows in the lines of the dancer's body. The swords pointing toward his foot admonish him to maintain perfect form. Different spiritual leaders, for example, Rudolf Steiner and G.I. never heard of him, created body movements and postures intended to evoke specific states of mental awareness. Martial arts such as Tai Chi and Taiwan do use the body to enhance mental acuity, and the mind to enhance physical powers and grace. Hatha Yoga is a series of exercises that yoke together body and mind. The position of ballet are intended to create an aesthetic effect on the beholder. These arts are not creative. The forms are dictated by tradition and passed on by a living teacher, master, or guru. These fruits are reaped only through dedication and regular practice. Dang it, this stupid computer. Dismiss. There we go. Alright, sorry guys. So, the Six of Swords indicates that the rewards of discipline and hard work are beginning to manifest. The breakthrough may be in the healing arts, as indicated by the cactus. I don't even think that's the word, but I'm just going with cactus. I don't care. In the background, or in any other field that emphasizes the connection of the body and mind. A transition may be coming during the change. Help will come from a person whose self-discipline gives him or her a rather cold demeanor. So meanings. Science. Diverse success. Balance. Intelligent behavior. Explanation. Change in the way of thinking. New mental orientation. Conscious association. A trip or a journey. Headstrong attempts to overcome difficulties. Expedient manner. Success after anxiety. Graduation from school. Stay in school, graduate, go to college. Dead serious. Do it. Go to fucking college. That's my advice for today. Go to college. Seven of Swords. Very pretty. Alright. Seven of Swords. A woman walks into a hazy landscape. Swords are sunk in the ground around her. She is mostly covered by a large cloak. Uncertainty pervades the card. From the cloud-swept moon to the cloaked figure, the woman walks barefoot in a field of blades, and yet has an aura of carelessness. Situations can reach a point where the only logical action seems to be to walk away from them before the first step is taken, though one must examine one's motives. Is giving up merely the easy way out and an abdication of responsibility, or is it the best way to cut losses? Will giving up one approach open the way for another, or will it lead to yet another dead end? The Seven of Swords indicates a situation that has become ambiguous at best. One must make a commitment or withdraw completely. Vagueness or inconsistency from self and others can be a source of frustration. An experienced person may be able to provide some kind of direction. I want to host fricking The Wheel of Fortune. I want to host that show. I do. Halloween. Also, I would really like to host Jeopardy. I would love to host Jeopardy. If you're watching this, Alex Trebek, I think that would be great. And if you would let me co-host with you. No, actually, I want to just host with Vanna. Meanings. Alright, uselessness. Vain effort. Inconsistent. Inconstant behavior. Tolerance. Unclear intentions. Advice. New plans. Wishes. Consciously defining a goal. I'm consciously defining my goal of wanting to host Jeopardy. Please. Please. No, I'm joking. But if it ever came to it, I would. My God, I would. Alright, 8 of Swords. Ew, this one's weird. It's almost like a ghostly, just like a ghostly type deal. Alright, 8 of Swords. Okay, a man and a woman stand in a pen of swords. A gray wall rises behind them. The ground is uncertain as melting ice. The grievances indicated by the 8 of Swords are entrenched. Neither by man nor the woman will make the first move toward resolution. They are no longer certain who is right and who is wrong, but pride or fear, losing control, keeps them locked in. The roles of adversaries. The 8 of Swords indicates a conflict, internal or external, that both sides will lose unless some compromise or agreement is reached. So, recommendations have decayed self-confidence and sympathy. The saving grace is that both sides are beginning to realize how much the situation has deteriorated. Neither can extricate. Neither, whatever, himself or herself alone. It's all for one and one for all. Most likely, whoever takes the risk of making the first move will be met more than halfway. Does that mean that I'm going to be able to host Jeopardy? Joking. Meanings. Disturbance, interference, limitation, conflict, blame, resistance, problematic thoughts, mental prison, imprisonment, criticism, limitation of ideas, great mental tasks, past treachery. Yeah, that card did bring up a bit of past treachery. It did. Kind of pissed me off too. I want to hurt that card, and I'm going to hurt it bad. 9 of Swords. Oh God. That just looks terrible. There we go. Alright, 9 of Swords. Alright. War ravages a landscape. Swords fly through the air, striking an unarmed man. Ah, a poor man. Another sword hits the serpent of life. The 9 of Swords shows a man who is, or at least perceives himself to be, a victim of malice beyond his control. Whether his personal enemy or his country's enemy considers the attack to be just, it is he who must pay with his life. Everyone from the most macho man to the most protective parent must face the fact that there are forces stronger than themselves. War, rape, epidemics, natural and ecological disasters, murder, these terrifying events sweep across gender, class, color, religion, and nationality. The highest religious and secular leaders have felt the assassin's bullet. Palaces, temples, and hovels alike are flattened by bombs. I don't like that shit. That makes me pissy. It really pisses me off to hear that shit. Okay. Protection is not found in ignorance or passivity. One must demand universal suffrage, full education for adults and children, clean environments, safe housing, and unbiased police protection. Respect and opportunities regardless of color, gender, nationality, and sexual orientation. One cannot demand these rights for oneself only. History has made it clear that everyone must enjoy the same civil and fucking human rights that we all fucking deserve. That was not in the book. I just got out of hand. Another kind of war is waged within. guilt, anxiety, hatred of self, conflicts between personal needs and the needs of others, depression and worry about things that are out of control of one's power to change can gnaw away at self-esteem. Alright, the Nine of Swords indicates an urgent need to assert control over negative forces, external and or internal. Possibly one has been living in a cocoon. I would love to live in a cocoon, unaware of world events and unaware of one's own mental currents. It's time to come out, to take action, and become involved. Constructive efforts will help. So, meanings: war, despair, sadness, failure, negative thoughts, fear, shame, anxiety over a loved one, acceptance of reality, self-realization, brilliant ideas. I like the brilliant idea shit better. Alright, Ten of Swords. I love this fucking card. This card reminds me of American Horror Story for some fucking odd reason. Big time. Big time. I love that card. That's crazy. That is seriously crazy. Alright. Ten of Swords. The Ten of Swords is the most frightening card of the Cosmic Tarot. I think it's beautiful. That just shows my taste. It is an image of madness, a person besieged by the anguish of his own mind. The sun, far from being a healer, burns the sky into splinters. Insanity has been perceived in many ways in different societies. Sometimes madness is considered divine. Sometimes it is considered a curse. I think it's divine. When a severe mental illness strikes close to home, it is hard to see it as anything but a huge, painful puzzle that overwhelms our best intentions and most cherishable ambitions. Only one thing seems really clear: the stable, functional mind is the most precious jewel we can ever have. Okay, yeah, I totally agree. The urge to discredit those who are diagnosed as mentally ill, to dismiss them as nuts, is a sign of the conformist in all of us. A patronizing attempt at pity can mask over the fear that is raised when basic assumptions about reality are questioned by inappropriate behavior and ideas. The Ten of Swords warns of mental problems. The problem may be more or less intense. A sense of depression and anxiety could be a cloud in an otherwise sunny sky. More seriously, ideas can take on overwhelmingly or proportions. Thoughts may be obsessive, confused, and disconnected. Painful sense of distance from one's emotions might be experienced. Unexpected despair may lead to suicide fantasies or attempts. It's fucking scary. Whether the problem is serious or mild, pay attention to it. Obviously, fucking pay attention to that shit. Talk to someone who is stable, mature, and supportive. Browbeating yourself or turning up to the pressure is no solution. Be nurturing and gentle. It is a friend or relative, or even a stranger on the street who is suffering. Don't ignore the problem. Don't be afraid. Meet this person with all the compassion of your heart. Meanings: ruin, destruction, defeat, mental confusion, overwhelming thoughts, pain, mental anguish. The lowest point is reached. Acceptance of the unexpected. New mental horizons. Improvement. Help is on the way. I like that card. I knew I liked that card. I'm insane myself. Alright, Prince of Swords. Princess of Swords. I see a little bit of a Xena warrior princess here. So a woman is against the background of mountains and sky. Her companion is a hawk. A transparent sword rises from a flower. The Princess of Swords wears the emblem of air, a triangle crossed with a hooked line. She operates in the realm of the mind, the intellect. Her gaze is direct, almost merciless. She is not inclined to compromise truth in order to spare the emotions of herself or others. So like the hawk, who sees the tiniest creatures on the ground from high above, her mind misses nothing. The sword that rises from the lotus flower separates good from evil, truth from lies. Vagueness or compromise won't be allowed. The Princess of Swords lives by her ideas and principles. She is a stir-upper, an iconolist. She may not have suffered enough in life to be merciful or tolerant of her elders' little weakness and hypocrisies. If dumb complacency sets in, the princess will be one to uproot it. If there is a cause, the princess will be firebrand at the lead, or the conspirer behind the scenes. Because the princess expresses herself in action rather than words, she is a silent type. Her nature tends to draw secrets from people. In friendship, she is reliable, coordinate. Otherwise, she is an excellent spy or agent proactivator. Different. So, meanings: skill, practical abilities, observant, powerful, serious, vigilance, agility, spying, a discreet person, an active youth, a person adept at perceiving, discerning, and uncovering the unknown, or that which is less than the obvious, insight, severity, aggressiveness, an impostor revealed. Alright, the Prince of Swords. It reminds me of Zsa Zsa Gabor's husband. Just a little bit. So there's the prince. I need another cigarettes. Badly. Very badly. Alright. Prince of Swords. A young man is in a lush landscape. A book and a sword, together with a lily, are before him. On his lapel is the sigil for air. On his cravat is the sigil for the astrological sign Aquarius. A hawk is behind his right shoulder. The Princess of Swords was a woman of few words. The prince is of the book. His philosophy has always worked out and formulated in elaborate terms, always subject to refinement and revision. He has his and your utopia all planned out. The thick book cover, however, cannot contain all his ideas. He is ready to chalk whomever will listen, perhaps beyond the limits of the most people's endurance. The expression of the prince is mild, but he is not an amateur armchair philosopher. The sword is prominent. The prince's idealism can carry him into phantasm and conversion. By the sword may seem to him the most expedient way to save the world. So, not all missionaries are bigoted, however, and the prince can be a true ambassador of goodwill. He genuinely enjoys sharing ideas and mingling with people of different cultures and kinds. The purpose of all of his travels will be to teach rather than to convert, and to learn and absorb new outlooks rather than suppress others. He will be at home in multicultural institutes and religious gatherings. Blah. So, though acting isn't necessarily a profession to which he would gravitate, the prince loves theatrically and eccentricity. He may have an unusual circle of friends. His nonconformist outlook can make him a true advocate of people who are alienated from the mainstream of society. Open-mindedness and an innate wish to help others gives him the potential to be a valuable mental health worker, if he can learn to be more of a listener and less of a talker. Unlike the Scorpion, Prince of Cups, the Prince of Swords tends to love the world rather than to focus on individuals. This makes him an ideal partner for free-spirited types who are normally suffocated in monogamous relationships. So, where did I go? an excellent companion to cerebral people. He is stimulating intellectually with the ability to make the abstractions come alive. Ideas and more ideas flow from him. To expect realism and carefully laid plans, to miss a wonderful opportunity to explore new regions of the mind and the imagination. So, two more down-to-earth people the prince carefully worked out, and dazzlingly innovative philosophy may seem rather like a grab bag of half-baked eccentricities. If there is a new age type in the Aquarian, if there is a new age type, it is the Aquarian Prince of Swords. I don't like the word new age. I just don't like it whatsoever. So, meanings: bravery, agility, cleverness, swiftness, foresight, loyalty, courage, skill, capacity, the strength and dash of a young man, impetuous rush unto the unknown without fear, daring, belligerent, imprudence, impulsive mistakes, bigotry. Okay. Now we have the Queen of Swords. So, the Queen of Swords, a mature woman sits in a rich chamber, a sword in hand. A dove is in front of her. In the background, the couple from The Lovers. On the corners of the woman's cape are the sigils for the astrological sign Gemini, element of water. The top of her throne is the sigil for Mercury, ruler of Gemini. The eyes of the queen are her most outstanding feature, discerning, intelligent, not piercing, but nevertheless intense. So, Mercury was a messenger to the Roman gods, and so Gemini and Virgo, also ruled by Mercury, yes, and Virgo, oversees writers, publishing and printing, the printing industry, and communications. The medium of electricity is mercurial. I about said electrical. Like electrical current, the queen's mind moves quickly. What she says will be right to the point. Aphorisms are more to her taste than philosophies. She may be an essayist or a columnist. Journalism that focuses on current issues is her forte. She delights in verbal sparring. Some may find her argumentative. The satisfaction of producing a witticism means more to the Queen of Swords than having an idea adopted. I like her. Her interest in the water element indicates her realization that the simplest emotional gratification can go further with people than the most profound inspiration. The volatile, quick-tongued Crineo de Bernarch demonstrates the Gemini temperament, argument by an uncharacteristic fidelity, as does the loquacious madcap of Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet. I was good yesterday with Romeo and Juliet. Totally on spot yesterday. So the lovers in the background reflect the queen's role as a messenger, a medium that makes relationships possible. She may not be interested in maintaining a long-term relationship herself, but she loves matchmaking. She can be a delightful ally in a romantic intrigue. She may be a busybody. The lovers can also be an image of happy days gone by. Sometimes the Queen of Swords signifies a person in mourning. The Queen of Swords could be someone whose responsibilities bar her or him from the Garden of Youth, someone who is temporarily separated from loved ones, or someone in exile. The symbol of Gemini is twins, dualism, underlined by the presence of the lovers. Gemini can run two operations simultaneously. The armed peacekeeper is one of the paradoxes of her realm. Gemini rules the hands, and given the connection with electricity, the Queen of Swords loves gadgets, especially electronics and computers. Her mate, the Librian King of Swords and the son of the Aquarian Prince of Swords, can have the software. The Queen will tinker with the hardware. Space travel and all agencies connected with it are ruled by Gemini. Interesting. Electrical. Greenacre's fault. Totally Greenacre's fault. Electrical. So, meanings. Consecration. Severity. Grace. Attentiveness. Quick wits. Intensely perspective person. A subtle person. Mourning. Exile. Privation. Absence. Cunning. Cruelty. Narrow-mindedness. Maliciousness. Alright. King of Swords. This looks like my dad. It does. Wow. King of Swords. Duh! That really does look like my dad. Hi, Dad. King of Swords. A man stands with his sword and falcon in... A man stands with his sword and falcon in a temperate landscape. The sign of Libra. That is what my dad is. Which is ruled by Venus, is on his shirt. The King of Swords, like the Prince of Swords, does not gaze directly toward the viewer. His eyes are lifted to the distance. His falcon, however, looks directly out, fully aware. The King of Swords rules through his intellect more than through physical might or emotional manipulation. He is keenly intelligent and he can think quickly. Innate chivalry, dedication to his group and mental prowess make him a good military commander. Especially in tactical capacity. He will the fuck is that word? He will competently organize a plan and a group of people to execute it. His interests tend to shift quickly, and he is better at planning than following through. He can be a Diligent. His Venetian brother, the Taurian Prince of Pentacles, is the one for the long-term effort. The king's fitting attention is a paradox to his memory. He may avoid making enemies, but he can hold grudges against friends for a long time. Yeah, wow. The king's devotion to mental activity often obscures other areas of his life. Ignoring emotions or physical desire doesn't make them go away, and the king may find that his loftiest ideas are actually the means to emotional or physical gratification. He has perspective, though, usually to catch himself. The slight uncertainty in his expression reveals that he never ceases reviewing his own motives on the motives of others. Yep. The king's intuition is keen, and his analyses are apt, and he knows it. If he happens to be wrong, his friends will find it very difficult to persuade him to see his error. Yep. A harmonious society, a harmonious relationship is the chief desire of Libra. The distant gaze of the king reflects a wish for happiness beyond personal fulfillment. Venus rules him. Love is the key to his great society. Right. The King of Swords indicates a person who works carelessly for harmony, or at least an appearance of harmony. He is a good leader in a situation that requires consensus. That is, the diplomat, the emissary, the one who smooths ruffled feathers. In a family, the King of Swords is the one who holds the group together. The matriarch or the patriarch of the clan or the child who takes on the role of peacemaker. Never mind. Meanings: power, daring, authoritativeness, authoritativeness, sharp wits, superiority, reverse nature, experienced person, command of situation, a professional, highly analytical person, justness, a person having many ideas, thoughts, and designs, stubbornness, tyranny, a person who may pursue a matter to ruin, sadism. Interesting suit. So yeah, suit of swords. Tomorrow we will do the suit of pentacles. How fun. What a nice... What a nice suit of cards. Alright, guys. If I can get these back in my little pouch. Oh, hiccup. A little pouch here. So, tomorrow we will be on to the Pentacles. And yes, let's see how my candle's doing. The candle's burning perfect. So, I have yet to create the Yule ritual, but I'll do that today on my phone. So, yeah, new items. I will be having new items from the shungitestore.com. So keep checking back on my description below, on all my videos, my email, all my websites, everything. My campaign for the shungitestore.com. It will be all there. So you guys will know when I get this stuff. So I can't wait to. I really cannot wait to show you guys what's coming. So, alright guys, I love you all, and happy Witchy Wednesday. All my love. Everybody have a great day. Be safe. Have fun. Be safe, be safe, be safe. And I love you all. So, I'll see you all tomorrow.